know I said yes. Just
Oh man, you need some headphones, bro.
you know I said yes. You know I said yes. You know I said yes.
Oh man, you need some headphones, bro.
You know I said yes.
like the smoke in my lungs. You got me feeling so numb. Oh, all I felt was you. I was out of my mind. You were killing me inside. Yeah, I know the truth. I know it's that I think of you. I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to fall head to toe for you. No, I just can't get over all the games we played. I lose myself in your abuse. You split my heart into two. You split my heart into two. You split my heart into two. You I cannot replace, memories cannot erase. No, I don't know how to. What we started for fun got me feeling so numb. I feel just like a fool. I know it's that I think of you. I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to fall head to toe for you. No, I just can't get over all the games we played. I lost myself in your abuse. You split my heart into two. You split my heart into two. You split my heart into two. I got enough of every melody. They all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's in
All
the
right,
other
ladies
side.
and gentlemen, welcome. I am Kerner Sandals, joined here by Cash MT. Obviously, if you're on the Cash MT F5 side, I'm the disembodied voice of Kerner Sandals. But we are joined here together. It's a bit of an LCA versus LCA game. Zomblers versus F5. Looking like it's going to be a good one. How you feeling, Cash?
Oh, I'm feeling so great about this one here. A classic LCA versus LCA match, like you were saying there, and joined with you. It's been a while since we've gotten the cast here, so
It
I
has.
am stoked. Been looking forward to it all day here. But actually, one thing, when I was kind of doing a little bit of research for this match here, I noticed that Zomblers have actually already played a map of Anubis, a close call 13-11. I'm curious to see if that's going to be a factor tonight.
Yeah, like you were
Spoiled the
saying.
map, but
Yeah, so obviously our map tonight is going to be going to Anubis. Zomblers have played it once before. Their season opener against Guangdong Tigers. They won that 13-11. Strong first half, 9-3. Bit of a weaker second half. They needed that, which, I mean, kind of gives an indication where they started, right?
yeah.
They started that on the T side, finished on the CT side. For F5 on the other side, though, a 13-10 loss on Mirage. You want to give us some insight on that one?
Yeah, it was a really back and forth affair there. Truly, it felt like F5 could have won it in the end there, but truly, it felt like Cooking Esports just kind of out-edged them in the end. So definitely, it was a confidence booster. It definitely felt good for F5 to get their toes wet into the season here, and I'm curious to see if that's going to be a little bit of a confidence booster for them coming into this one, or the jitters are still going to be there a bit.
Yeah, of course. And with that, both, obviously Zomblers looking to extend their streak to 2 on the season. Now, we do have a bit of info from Bingo Racing in the chat. Looks like
Ooh.
Zomblers did 13-4 take flight on the off-season shenanigans league last
Oh,
on
wow.
Anubis as well. So that's another little notch in the belt for Zomblers on Anubis, looking to extend their streak to potentially 3 maps on it, but
Interesting.
2 wins in their season. But I think, gosh, it is time for us to just jump into this game because we have got our game getting started. Obviously, a bit of knife round action, of course, on what is, you and I have a bit of interesting opinions on this map. Anubis, it's a map, it's new, it's fresh, but a little bit one-sided, and that is really
I
going
hate
to be
it.
the difficult one. You hate it. I'm a little bit more like, wait and see.
I
Let's
don't
see
hate it.
how
I'm
it
being
evolves.
dramatic. It's
But
easier to
we are
whine,
gonna
you
get
know, and
butted.
no whining here from Zomblers. They're gonna come out on top, and like you were saying there in the pregame, getting to start off on this T side, it's such a benefit, and of course, that's where they're gonna be starting. So already a little bit of a benefit here, working for the side of Zomblers before the game's even started.
Yeah, Zomblers getting onto their favorite side, the T side. Alor, Ionio, Grimbly, Sanzik, and Satsi are the 5 on the server tonight. Over for F5, we've got Zeep, Luke 4K, Hambuga, Savage, and Freaky.
Classic mix up here. Some well-known faces here in the NACS scene here, and ooh, as I've been saying, just so stoked for this one. And ooh, a lot of dual Berettas being invested into the 7 pistol strategy, as I like to call it. A lot of utility as well being brought over towards this right side of the map here, and 2 bodies in front of A main. I'm curious to see how this one all plays out.
Now, one of those being the dualies of Luke 4K, holding on to them. Sanzik pushing forward. Luke 4K immediately removed, and that's Sanzik onto the Glock. Tears through. And that's going to be Zomblers, a quick entry out towards that A bomb site. Free bomb plant going down, and I think for the rest of F5, they might just be going for the save, but looks like they might group up for a heaven push for retake.
Yeah, do you save the armor here and just try and force into that second round here? I know from watching their first match of the season, that was something that F5 did go for on a map like Mirage here, but no save. They're going in, no defuse kit, no problem, and fighting at range. Sandik is just on a tear in this round, makes it a 3-piece, and Satsy and Grimble, they just finished up the remaining pieces of the pie there, and Zomblers, by force into that A-bomb site, they get the first round.
Yeah, and flawlessly at that, not a body lost so far, and response from F5, no saves were allowed, but they're going for the force buy anyways. MP9s are out, Deagle up for Freaky. Over on the other side, Zomblers do have some extra firepower. The AKs have been pulled out for Sanzik and Grimbly, and Sassy has the Galil.
Certainly, and I'm curious to see if this is going to kind of catch Zomblers off guard a little bit here. It feels like a clear-cut save in the second round, but we'll see if that surprise factor can favor the side of F5 at all here. Again, a double A main setup early here. Looking like they might actually push with it. Luke here leading the charge here with the SMG. It looks like he's going to get a duel at range. And actually with Ayler, the first stop, he takes him down. Sanzik as well, 4-0, continuing that great start.
And 2 players pushing up through water, though Alor could get caught off guard. Savage trying to swing around the MP9. Sanzik goes down. Alor trades. But that's the bomb down and favoring F5. It is a 3 versus 2. Zeep does have the MP9 towards A main. Savage has got the AK towards Rugs. INU wants to go for the fight, does make contact, and some bullets are exchanged, but not a ton of damage. Things will go a little bit quiet as Zomblers are repositioning themselves.
Yeah, Zeep stuck in a rock, stuck in a hard place here, and the swing of Savage trying to figure out where they're coming from is just going to feed Grimble, but Zeep, he actually fights his way out of it here, but gives up the bomb in the process, and knowing where the last CT is, it's going to be a mad scramble in towards this B bomb site.
And Grimbly going to be planting as open as they dare. 40 seconds on the clock here. Zeep does have the MP9 to try and make it work. No kit, though, so time is of the essence.
Time, a precious commodity here, but Zeep continuing to close the gap here, and I love this setup here out of Grimbly and Sassy, just tucking in together. I mean, even if Zeep guns down one of them here, the trade, it should just always be coming in here for the T's, and Zeep realizing that, hey, there's just not enough time in this world here. I've got to run for the hills. They're not going to see the light. I am going to see the light of day, at least, as one MP9 should be brought out, though. Something to play with into that third round.
Actually, it's going to be an upgrade to an AK-47, so Zeep getting a little bit more for their dollar. Still Zomblers taking it 2-0, but having brought the AK over will allow for a bit of that hero AK, bring it forward, keep that going in the next round, but they're still going to be purchasing up at least one MP9. Still a little bit of investment here, a bit more than I was expecting, but hey, F5 at least wants to give their shot at it.
Was Luke one of the players who got a kill for the CT's last round? I assume he got a little bit of a kill reward bonus from the MP9 there, allowing him to invest. And hey, you never know. I mean, Zeep, he gets a multi-kill in this round here, and maybe Luke finds one here, and might be some situations that the impossible could become the possible here, but certainly easier said than done. And Hambuga, actually one of those players not with actually a technical gun here, but the Desert Eagle does take a duel, and he's going to fall up short. But Luke, on the other side of the world, a kill into Ayler.
Kill with the MP9. It is truly a weapon to behold, and somehow still as strong as it is in this current stage of the game. Deep to swing out, loses out to the MAC-10, and I think the most even duel we've had is SMG versus SMG with INU taking on Luke 4K. Hambuga's pushing up with the Deagle.
Oh my god.
INU switching to the Glock, but the Deagle nets 2. And now it's Grimbly and Sanzik, the last two standing. And they're going to be heading their way for the A-bomb site.
And that looked risky there from Hambuga, but I love it. They're pressuring the player in the corner, and while Anu was just pinned, I mean, he's unfortunately not able to find that last shot that he was looking for, but still a little bit of compensation here for these T's. They do get the bomb down on this A-bomb site, and again, another situation where there is no defuse kit, and that Molotov could not be any more well placed there from Sanzik as he slows the roll.
Timer ticking down. Here comes the pushes. Freaky.
Oh!
Absolutely eviscerated out of the round. Sanzik gets one as well. Savage at least has the smoke and the bomb. But with less than 10 seconds, there's no chance to really get a defuse through. It's just about taking down every body possible. Savage will be going down to Sanzik, but Sanzik's a dead man walking. It's all 10 players dead, and Zomblers are going to have to dig deep into their pocketbooks to afford the weaponry for round number 4.
That is so close, yet so far there. And it almost feels like that Molotov might have been the difference maker. Maybe if those few extra seconds had come in, maybe the outcome would have been different there. But woulda, coulda, shoulda here. And Zomblers, off the back of winning that knife round here, starting off on the T side, I mean, they've taken just complete use of it. 3 for 3, and a big test put on their plate there coming into the 4th.
Zeep flowing towards mid. It's a bit of a 2-1-2 setup for F5. They have kind of positioned themselves well around the map, but they are starting to lean things more towards B based off of some of the utility that Satsy and Aylar are putting down, and that's actually a bit of a misinformation play coming out from Zomblers. Here comes the real push. It's the final hit towards A. The bomb's on the back of Grimbly, and the whole site's in their control. This is an expertly played fake coming out from Zomblers.
Brilliant. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that here. I mean, in the 5 versus 5, do you really want to gear up for the retake in towards this bomb site? I mean, there's so much utility in play here still. The post lane is going to be such in favor of these T's as Sassy. Death by paper cuts right through the corner of the wall. Savage is not going to be planting his feet on this A-bomb site in this round, it seems. And in they're still going to go. Luke swinging out into the loving arms of Grimbly. Even transfers over for another before Zeep can get the trade. Zeep with the follow-up, but is it enough? It doesn't seem like it. Assassin from behind.
Freaky gonna try and stick onto that bomb, though. Time is a factor, but not before Satsy gets the knife. An extra $1,500 again. Still another body dropped in favor of F5. It's, only 2 players surviving, so Zomblers, again, another heavy reinvestment here, but F5, money's looking okay. I'm expecting some pistol upgrades, as that's been kind of their bread and butter so far. The MP9 for Luke, I mean, it's a lot of these eco weapons being pulled out. They want to do as much damage as they can.
And you can't even really blame them, can you, Connor? I mean, having 1 player survive 2 rounds ago, 2 players survive in that last one here. If they can just string together one of these rounds here, it might be worth a streak here. Certainly a tough cookie to crack. Zomblers proving to be a force to be reckoned with, and Freaky down to 9 HP before he even gets a duel here. Inu just on cleanup duty as first blood for Zomblers early into the round.
Oh my goodness.
That's the second time he's done that.
Yeah, Grimbly, just a deletion of a one-tap. I feel like this is going to be a fight going the way of INU, and there it is, 2 kills. Sanzik flying Savage, and that is Zomblers. A clean round, one that they really needed to win easily. Taking that up to a 5th, and F5 time for a rebound. At least that's what they're hoping for. AWP in the hands of Freaky. M4 is all around for the rest of the squad, including a couple of defuse kits to keep an eye on.
I think this is a good point to call in a timeout here. Take 30 seconds here to try and compose for the second full buy here, because it's already becoming a pretty scary scoreline here, even though it is Anubis. But still, a big round, a big moment in F5. They need to take full advantage of it. AWP onto Freaky for the first time of this game here, but he's going to be softened up early again by a grenade. Down to 62, but still all 10 players alive and well.
Freaky's been forced to keep close to those AHEs in the early stages, but overall is playing it back on mid for now and just kind of holding the long-range angle, staying it back. The rest of the Zomblers, they're pretty well spread out. They haven't really fully committed towards the bomb site just yet. They're trying to maybe find an opening pick or two, and that does mean that they're just going a little bit of fact-finding, maybe trying to peek towards A main, towards B main, but it seems that they are starting to group themselves up for a potential B push.
Gearing up, all the options on the table here. Ianu kind of crossing into that mid cubby that we've seen so many times here, leaving things open-ended, but bomb kind of getting closer and closer to B, like you were saying here. And ooh, finally the first duel coming out over towards mid. Ianu again just standing his ground here in the corner, does find one. See, forcing his hand, forcing the trade. The Molotov though, forcing Hamburger in the open, but is not going to be punished for it. It's a chance at another fight here, and Grimbley is going to come out on top.
Yeah, but with the AWP and the M4 fighting, Freaky and Savage push things to a 3 versus 1. Sassy, last one standing in the clutch. 20 seconds, and with the bomb on his back, I can't imagine there's much to be done here. Sassy, will they attempt for this clutch? Will they attempt for this bomb plant even? 10 seconds left. Sassy just going to be giving it up. That is going to be a first round on the board for F5.
And there you have it. That is a much-needed first round as well, and it's such a confidence builder as well. And now, having had a clean anti-eco in the previous round here from Zomblers, it is going to allow for them to at least lean on their funds a little bit coming into this next one. But they definitely want to try and stifle F5 before they get the ball rolling.
Of course, Zomblers not going to be too phased by that one just yet. They will drain a bit of the money, but still not out of it, right? You know, Sansek down a bit low. Actually does switch over to a Galil instead of the AK to afford more of the utility. A bit of a last-second change of the purchase, but the pocketbooks are looking decent enough, right? If they lose this next round, they'll have second-stage loss bonus, so it'll be enough for another buy into round number 8. So for right now in round number 7, feeling just fine.
Certainly so. Feeling fine here, and another one of these default approaches, just kind of playing it slow, at least in the starting few moments. Ianu trying to get up towards that mid cubby position is gonna be presented with cover fire from Sassy, but see, before he goes down, he actually takes one with him as we simplified down to the 4 versus 4. This is where things get tricky though for the CT. So Connor, 4 versus 4s are a little bit hard to navigate.
They can be a bit brutal because they've just lost their entire mid-site control, so they have to essentially pick which site they want to hold on to, and they can, for Zomblers, they can just kind of box into one of these sites as best as they can, pushing 2 up through mid, 2 up through main, and have just any say of what they want, whatever they go. It's going to be a 4 versus 2 unless the rotations come in time. Hamburger will start to rotate over as well as Savage. They were considering it, but Sanzik gets the kill to Luke. Appa Freaky chimes in for 1, looking for the peek back. Grimbley's already here, though. Missed AWP shot. Freaky, the quick scope will not go his way, and Alor gets the kill. It's a 3 versus 2 now, favoring Zomblers. Bomb plant going to be going in for Heaven. Savage trying to push up with Hamburger. Missed op shot, but Savage caught with the back turn. Hamburger gets the kill, and it's Satsy, the opener and the closer for Zomblers, finds it with the AWP.
Yeah, that was a round-winning kill there into Ayler. A round-winning kill into Freaky there. Ayler, a great moment inside of A main there, cracking open that bomb site. I mean, another moment there where it feels like maybe the outcome could have gone differently with one kill going the other way, but man, I mean, Zomblers, they're on fire here. Timeout coming in, though. I mean, money is kind of in shambles. This is really worst case scenario now for F5, having won a round, then lost the next as well. That round loss bonus has just shrunk up on them.
Yeah, they did lose a stage of their round loss bonus, but they're not too worried about it. They are making adjustments to their purchases. We already do see that the ops been pulled out for Freaky once again. A couple of M4s. Savage, no weapon has been picked up just yet, but it is going to be double MP9s. And a bit of a variety pack in terms of what we're seeing from F5. Luke 4K and Savage, I imagine they're going to be trying to play it a bit more up close and personal, whereas the rest of the squad will be trying to take some of these more long-range fights.
And aggression has been a staple in some of the early rounds here for F5. Curious to see if those MP9s force that out again, but checking out the minimap early. No bodies over towards the left side of the map here from Zomblers. It feels like they're kind of already gearing up for this all-in A hit. But for the time being, I mean, there's 3 players on this site here. This could be the read that F5 are looking for. Flashbang comes in, however, the flames just so well timed there. Ayler blinded up, is holding out but one, gets the first kill, and Ayler just runs out.
Oh my!
God. What is going on with those?
Again with the headshot coming through for Zomblers, and that was the op just absolutely obliterated. It's going to be a bomb plant, slightly delayed. Just trying to get the right angle, make sure it's all good. But there we go. Bomb plant down, and 7 is seemingly a lock here for Zomblers. They're not going to be worried about this one bit. Trembly will get caught from behind, and there's Savage. Oh, are you going to do it? No, I thought it was going to be the knife kill. My hopes were a little bit dashed there, but that's okay. But it is an upgrade to the AK for Savage over the MP9.
Hey, 2 guns, better than nothing here coming out of it here, but another just close call in these rounds here. Zomblers just so well versed in these late games, and starting to wonder if that Anubis experience that we were talking about, having played it already once this season and played it in OSS there, it definitely shows.
Yeah,
or
it's
is it just
definitely
the T-side, Connor? I'll let you decide.
I think it's a combination of the 3 here. Zomblers are well versed on the map. They've been playing it quite a bit recently. They're well versed, and like you said, T-side Anubis does not help the fact that of F5 are forced to play on this CT side. So it's a big combination. It's a storm of things going on. For F5, they're hoping at least to find some momentum back. They do have a full set of rifles. No AWP, though. Well, just about a full set. Luke 4K is the bit of an outlier there on the MP9, but at this rate, it might as well be the M4 Lite.
Pretty much. You're close enough here. No time to save another round, and gonna have to make do with what they can. It looks like Luke's already kind of gearing up for perhaps some A-main aggression. Starts swinging through, but in third speed, he was just going out for it. Read them like a book, expecting the A overreaction, having gone there in the previous round. They walk into a one-man setup while the other 2 players are confined here to E-Box.
Hambuga boxed in. Savage tries to assist, but Sassy finds the kill. They know Hambuga's in E-Box. The MP9 of Luke 4K suffers at range, and now it's a 4 versus 1. Zeep alone. Oh, he's been ticked in the Molotov. They know where he is, and Zeep, having known that, you can even see the shake of the head as he's running away, realizes that Molotov tick is what's going to give it up, and it is 8-1 secured here for Zomblers.
And I mean, it has just been in stunning fashion to a couple of these rounds that they've won. I mean, it's definitely got to be a little bit tilting through the eyes here of F5 here, but they need to keep their heads screwed on straight here. I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, Anubis, if they can just get 3 rounds here on the CT side, it's not a clear-cut comeback there, but there's some worlds that they could pull it back.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You know, I mean, heck, I've even seen 10-2 comebacks pulled off on this map. You know, it does not, the scoreline on the first half, especially when you're on the CT side, does not matter as much. I feel like it is a far less important thing to consider overall. We do have a bit of a tactical timeout here. F5, of course, wanting to take one as we get into these last 3 rounds of the half, and they are trying to figure out some solutions here.
Yeah, and oh god, how do you crack the code here? It feels like it's, I mean, Zomblers have just been one step ahead of everything that F5 have really been calling for the time being, and I'm curious to see if they can figure out, if they can see something that we're not seeing here, but maybe the 30 seconds will work to their benefit. 3 more rounds left in this half here, and it seems like money has just been unlimited here for F5 as they really haven't saved in the last 5 rounds.
Yeah, F5 has been doing a good job of managing the economy fairly well. I mean, even on the eco rounds, they're still managing to pick up some of these crucial SMGs and pistols to try and at least squeak out some kills before the round's done. But this is another one of these rounds where, sure, they've got enough rifles, but they're still missing some of that oomph, right? They're missing the AWP. You're missing that fourth rifle in the hands of Luke 4K. Instead, you have 4 M4s, or I guess the fifth rifle, I should say. And then you're missing that sort of AWP in the hands of Freaky with the M4 in Luke's arms. So, you know, they are just missing some of those small pieces that over time can really start to build up.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, with what I've been saying about how it feels like some of these rounds really could have strung out for either direction, maybe that little small difference could be the difference between winning and losing a round here. And also, now that you bring it up, I think the one round that F5 won was off the back of Freaky.
It was.
Having a nice two-piece on that op here, but still, it's not dwelling the past here. In towards this A bomb site. Somehow, Sanzik has a lineup in towards the site. He spams out the first player and even trades out his teammate for the second.
Yeah, the flashbang with the nade pop into the smoke as well and makes a world of difference for Zomblers. They're able to just take the control that they want. And Luke 4K, you know, great to at least get the one, but you're on an MP9. You're in such a tough position to try and play for. It is always going to be a one-and-done position. And you're seeing the rest of F5 just getting torn to shreds. Hambuga, one and done. INU gets the trade. 9-1 for Zomblers.
No multi-kill potential. You saw the game plan too. Everyone hugging that left side of the A bomb site there, and just layers to it. I mean, that's just picture perfect in towards that A bomb site. As 9 now added to the tally. So in my opinion, it's got to be F5 winning out the half here. They need to carry a little bit of momentum into that pistol round for the second half as well here. And again, I know we're probably sounding like a broken record at this point, but a FAMAS 3 M4s, of course, the MP9 thrown in the mix here, and maybe they can deter Zomblers from getting that 10th. And okay, so congrats here with Freaky. 2 for 1 there, and now a favorable spot for the first time in a long time in the early stages of a round here for F5.
Yeah, this is something that they desperately needed, but look at Zomblers, the response. It's just to immediately head towards A, but the missed timing. Alor not looking for heaven. Luke 4K is in position to take down that kill, and for INU and Sanzik, they were not in position in any form to try and make this one happen. It's a 4 versus 2, still not impossible. INU and Sanzik, they've got the firepower to get it done, but will they get the timings? Will they get the peaks right to be able to pull it off?
That's the million-dollar question. It's still a 2-man holdover here towards B, and if they can crack it open cleanly, there's still some worlds that this 2 versus 4 goes flip side.
I think that was the just worst timed peaks I've ever seen. Like, you're seeing Alor walking out, checking the left and right angles. There's Luke up at heaven. You're seeing them jumping up as Hambuga's right there. I feel like for Zomblers, there wasn't really anything that they necessarily did wrong. It was just the fact that they got horribly timinged in about every aspect they could. But for F5, that's a golden ticket, right? You know, if so long as you're able to just catch them on the right moments, you're able to pick up that round, you're going to be happy with that either way.
Yeah, that's their foot in the door. I mean, the first is always the hardest there, and we'll see how far they can take it. A chance here to try and deny that 10th, that elusive double digits here in the first round. Aggression outside of B was really the key factor in winning that round here. We'll see if aggression will be played upon again from F5. As the spam does come out over towards mid, and flash over towards B. Out they're gonna go. Hambuga again.
Hambuga applying the pressure, but down low in the HP. Sassy on the fight. Freaky though with the AWP takes the kill. Sassy swings around, but the P2000 is the difference maker. It's the headshot to come on through. And another 4 versus 2 favoring F5. Zeep, I don't think he's made contact with INU. The flank is good. Doesn't convert the kill either way, but INU almost thrown flat to the ground dead. Hambuga, though, could get caught in the meantime. That's one more shot for INU. They know Freaky's been playing over towards B. Could have this timing, but the rotation's been pulled from Luke 4K. Freaky with the USP takes the shot. It's a 1 versus 2.
Alor, he's got free passageway into A here. This should be an easy plant for him, or is he going to push forward here and try and slim it into the 1 versus 1? Feels like he's got a general idea of where these players could be, but decides on smoking and molotoving off, confirms that he can get the safe plan and somewhat of an open plan as he looks to be positioned over towards Cameron, but walking out, they just don't respect the smoke there, and Luke, he's just going to blindside him down.
Yeah, I felt like overall, well played from F5. Again, it just kind of came down to some of those timings. The flash setup from Freaky to let Hamburger and Savage push out was fantastic. It just allowed them to just break on through on B main, and that was a big problem for them too, as I feel like most of their B main plays that they had tried up until that point had not gone their way. But those last 2 runs, they really switched up the pace. They just kind of went for that early, just fast aggression, and you saw Zomblers trying to adjust, right? They had an extra player out in the corner just waiting for the swing, but Hamburger, the run on the M4A4, just absolute destroying it. And now Zomblers, they lose the last 2 rounds of the half, but still a chance here on their CT side. They're up by 6, but that lead can disappear just as quick as that. And looking at what F5 is doing over at Rugs, this might be a good pistol round for them.
So you're saying there's a chance, huh? But still,
Always.
definitely to take it that extra mile. I mean, it's got to begin with this pistol round victory, and again, another set of dual Berettas being invested in too. We'll see if CTs this time will have more success with them, but it doesn't seem like the action's going to be coming early, at least over towards A, because B is just being stormed out. They're going to go free passageway, and we've got a rare 5 versus 5 retake going over towards A.
Luke trying to play it sneaky there and just gets ran down by Sanzik. A free upgrade to a Glock will allow a bit more of that rapid fire, but for Zomblers, it's a 5 versus 4. Zeep playing on the site. Aelor is the lone player going to be pushing through camera. It's 4 players up through A main. Bit of a role reversal here. Sassy fighting with the dualies. Zeep on 1. Zeep going for more. Taps away. 3 kills. 4 for Zeep. What a sequence there for F5.
And it just gets better and better. Headshot after headshot, peeking in and out of the angle. Just a Glock drive-by special there. And that is the 8-bomb site on lock there, regardless of it being a 4 versus 5. And oh my god, that's why they pay him the big bucks. My god, Zeke, what a play there on the Glock. You were saying the USPS was a downgrade to the Glock there, and Zeke showing us firsthand on why the Glock is an upgrade.
I mean, the Glock does allow for that higher rate of fire over the USB. To be fair, I'd say a fair alternative is the P2000. P2000 is a good alternative too, but given that what we're seeing on Zomblers right now, the only player that's even rocking it is INU with that P2K, which I respect it. P2K is great. Don't sleep on it. But hey, people like their suppressors. Other people like to let it bark.
No comment. We'll leave it at that. If I speak, I'll be in trouble. I don't know who. But man, I mean, this is exactly what we were referring to in that second half here. I mean, I know I keep bringing it up here. I'm trying not to jinx it here. I've got a bad tendency of doing that here, but a first blood into another round here. This feels like it's going to be a 2-0 start to this P side, and Freaky able to get the kill that he's looking for. And INU Zeep on the flank, executing one off the edge of the smoke here. The silencer is what actually gives Sassy a few extra shots, but even with those extra shots, Connor is going to fail him. Maybe if he had the P2000, he would have gotten
maybe if they had anything other than just base pistols, they would have been fine. But hey, it is what it is. They were taking the save. They wanted the upgraded weapons for round number 16. Oh, no, round number 15, actually. Miscounting that in my head a little bit there. M4's up. FAMAS in the hands of Aelor with the MP9. Actually, a refund of that FAMAS. Double MP9s. Double M4A Wars, and the A1 for Sanzik. Sanzik will definitely be looking to play a bit more of some of those long-range angles. Potentially a fight over towards Canals, and he's looking forward a little bit here. But Aelor, that nade.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, chunky one to Hamburger, down 30 HP.
A meaty grenade there outside of A, and now a couple players susceptible to an M4 headshot here, but definitely the tone of this map has just changed entirely. I mean, from the 8-1 scoreline into this 9-5, it just feels like everything is still up for grabs here, and INU just being a serious force to be reckoned with tonight. Seemingly always good for one. Anchors the A-bomb site at least for the first, but Zeep, the trade comes in, and this plant, it seems like, should be going down any moment here.
Bomb plant will be going down, but there's a problem here for Zomblers, and it's this mid flank. Savage is lurking in the wings with the Galil. Luke and Freaky finding kills. Aelor at least one back, but Savage, there it comes from camera, gets one, but Sassy trades. There's a smoke and a kit. Try and make it work, but Luke 4K is here and just waiting. Oh, Sassy, I like this angle. Trying to bait it out. Oh, he nearly had it. Sassy nearly pulled it off, but the HP just wasn't enough against Luke 4K. was able to land the
Takes
bullet, take the kill.
My God, 3 HP, the difference maker, and now as the lead shrinks up here for Zomblers, that close call is certainly going to sting here. And I mean, another round here where it's going to have to be technically a save here. It's not a full save, something to play with. Taylor on the MP9 that we keep bringing up here tonight. Maybe some pop-off potential here, but man, I mean, 7-9, not too crazy to think. The momentum of this T side here, and I know I keep saying it, but man, F5, arguably, getting into a better position now on the side of Zomblers. Close. You can debate me on that one.
Sanzik walking forward, does make contact, but no kill. Just going to be taking some damage. So far, F5 are taking it easy, right? They're going to be taking it back, not really going for any of these aggressive fights. Grimbley will be knocked down 17 HP. Sanzik will try and step in with the Desert Eagle to assist, but Savage with the AK up against the Eagle. That's a pretty one-sided affair.
Sans has been pretty nasty though with that one-shot headshot potential, and unfortunately not producing anything for us to witness in that round here, and having some success in towards that B-bomb site. Also knowing that one of the players is pinned behind pillar, lit up here. It feels like it should be enough to really invite him over towards this bomb site, but no, the bomb's actually being carried over towards A, expecting the reaction here out of Zomblers as it has come. All 4 players gearing up over towards B.
That is just going to be that stack. Oh, I thought thought
Oh,
F5. I thought they were
tricky.
going to reposition for A. You know, just commit up through A main and hit that site. But they are set up 4 players outside of B here. And this is where things can get a little bit dicey. Ayler's here with the MP9. They're checking for the mid flanks, but Zeep walks out right in the nick of time. Takes down 1, 2, and 3. It's all left to INU in a 1 versus 5. Does take down the Opper. But Zeep with the final kill makes it 4, and F5 up to a 7th round. Zeep has stepped up big time. It was a quad kill in the pistol, another quad kill there. Up to 17 kills so far in this game. Zeep has stepped up and is leading the frags all over on the server.
Yeah, he's just gone beast mode. A key reason that, I mean, F5 are even in this one here, and got to give credit to Hambuga as well. Look at him, 12 and 11 over there, having those great CT side rounds. But man, the dynamic duo of F5 here definitely starting to pull him along here. And a big round for us, Connor. Another full buy coming out here yet again for the CTs. But is their confidence wavering here? They've yet to even produce a CT side victory, and I'm sure that thought is looming in their head.
Yeah, and it's been a rough stretch without any of those CT-sided rounds as well. 4 rounds in a row so far, so obviously it's not been too long, but when you add on the last 2 rounds that they lost in the first half, that's 6 rounds total that they have been unable to really have their effect on. And for F5, they're just going to be taking some of this aggression up through mid, trying to apply some pressure. INU and Sassy are both there, and these nades will be doing some damage, but right now they're respecting F5 and giving them the control that they want.
Yeah, the smoke is going to be respected. Players starting to dip out of mid. It's now actually looping over towards what feels like a possible B split, but no, juking us out again here. A lot of movement coming through from the T side of F5. But 40 seconds, it feels like it's going to be a last second execute. Really the first time that we've really seen that all game long here, and back around towards mid. And they're going to go splitting over towards A in these final few seconds. The flashbang is going to get fast.
No.
Jumping back, exposed in the open, gets 1 shot, but that 1 shot is going to miss. I knew, though, able to chime in from behind and find 1 frag of his own. Sanzik at range. Best Luke, and now the post plant goes down in a 3 versus 4 here for F5.
Zeep, that run out is bold and does
Crazy.
at least net 1, but now it's a disadvantage here for F5. One of their first in some of these post plants. Hambuga does catch Sanzik, trying to send the Molotov up to heaven. A flashbang as well from Alor will try and buy some of the space, but I think it might be a stick on the bomb. Hambuga gonna be pulled back over. Same with Freaky. Alor gets 1 missed shot from Freaky, and that is a bomb defusal coming through. 10 rounds have been secured for Zomblers. They're first in some time.
Where did that shot go, though, for Freaky? It felt like that was on the
I feel
mark
like
there.
he was just moving. I think he had was
might have
counter
been.
strafing a bit there, and it hadn't quite lined up. It looked a bit off on my end, but I'm not entirely sure. But we have a bit of a tactical pause coming through from Zomblers this time around there for their second of the game.
Huge moment though for Zomblers still though. I mean, having only 2 players survive in that last round here, their money is definitely gonna be a little bit, well, not necessarily limited coming in this next round, but if they don't win this one here, Connor, it feels like F5 is just gonna get back to their winning ways here. That little bit of a safety net in their funds that they've built up to this point.
Funds are not looking great for Zomblers, and they're looking okay for F5. We do see Luke's at about 5,000 almost, 50. Hambuga at 2,500 and Zeep at 3,600. But for Savage and Freaky, it's not looking great. And with loss bonus at a minimum here, just that stage 1 for F5, losing more rounds won't be the best for them right now.
Big moments to be had. And some big pressure coming out early, at least from Luke, over towards A main. The pressure is going to be responded by from Ayler, dropping in a smoke here, but not necessarily committing too early on. Must be another one of these slow-paced, methodical approaches to a round here. Not that really Zomblers have shown to be too aggressive in the early stages of their CT side. Early rounds, I mean.
Ooh. Hambuga does eat a bit of a nade in the water. Swimming with the fishes so far. But F5 are starting to group themselves up towards the A bomb site. Neo is there as well as Alor. They both have rifles, but they're going to be up against 4 players trying to take their way to this site. Alor force off the angle. Does take down one. The flashbang. Hambuga's blind. And Alor's there to assist. Neo the follow-up. It's a trade back and forth, and it works to perfection. The meat grinder shreds down 3. Zeep and Savage, the last 2 standing here for F5. And Savage, at least pushing for some of that bomb site control, gets 1. And Grimbly swinging around, gets the trade, but it's a 1 versus 1. Sanzik versus Savage.
It all comes down to this. Somehow gifted into the 1 versus 1. Anybody's
Sanzik.
game here. And the rotate around. He's going over towards B. Savage.
He didn't hear it. He didn't hear it. And Sanzik, he's on a wild goose chase over towards B. When does he realize? When does he realize the mistake? He's going to be clearing it out and realizing it's over back towards A. The rotate was too soon. Here comes back up through mid. There's time at least, and there is a kit down somewhere. He's got the kit. Time less of a factor. Sanzik walking up. He's got to clear Savage. He's got to clear Savage. Oh, the noise has been made. Savage loses it. And time. There still is time here. It's going to be a defusal coming through, and Zomblers just barely win themselves an 11th round.
That is unbelievable. Sanzik had one guess, one angle to choose from. He chooses that left-hand cubby, and that is exactly where Savage resides. 1 second to spare. He's going to come out on top here, but still the same thing goes. Money, it's a critical, in a critical spot here for Zomblers. And if F5, I mean, if they can break the bank here, maybe they can start another one of those winning streaks that they had here and find a way to pull off the dub. But still, man, Zomblers, 2 CT side round wins when they really needed them here. And now gunning for match point as well.
11-7. Zomblers lead by 4, looking to push it further. Zeep gonna get caught by INU and retreating back through mid. It's an opener for Zomblers and doubling down. Grimbly finds it to Savage. The response is gonna be a faster play over towards A. INU, the reload, gonna get caught out. Bit of an inopportune time to go for that type of reload here. Satsy will be backing away. It's a 3 versus 3 and a bomb plant going down.
Somehow worked out to the benefit there of F5. And now a post plant here where they've kind of been on some shaky feet though and pulling it across the finish line. Gearing up for the retake in. Still a Molotov in the toolkit here of Sanzik. Gearing up for what feels like mid-sight Molotov. A resmoke does come in here, and now time is really becoming thinner and thinner by the second. And they're gonna go.
They do at least have the kits to try and work with. Freaky makes contact, gets 1. Hambuga, the follow-up. Sassy, now the last one standing, trying to go for the fight, and this is a round that F5 have been able to navigate. They lost the first 2 openers. This felt like a guarantee for Zomblers, but some crucial mistakes over at that A bomb site, reloading at just the wrong times, has cost them dearly.
And that could be the one that they were looking for, the chink in the armor, and now really back to square one is the side of Zomblers here, as they've only got about 3K apiece. And the anti-ecos, they really haven't been the kryptonite of F5 here. This feels like a clear-cut round here, assuming things don't go horribly wrong to those 5-7s. And it looks like the buddy system is going to be employed here, knowing that they're up against really a weaker buy from their opponents. Pretty much everyone just stacking outside of B, seeing if any sort of early aggression comes out, and with that not actually coming out early here, I bet you they're going to go up for a mid-round execute, as there's no real plan B, at least across the map for now.
Wembley, all lead, but now starting to burn. Swings forward, 5-7, not going to be connecting. Savage takes down the kill, and Luke 4K, there's the shot to INU. It's two players playing in towards the E-box, though. Aylor going to be swinging up, and again, this is a round pretty cut and dry, and nothing going the way of Zomblers. It is back within 2 rounds here.
And, I mean, it's crazy to think that at one point in this game, we were at a 1-8 scoreline here. Zomblers have allowed F5 to get back into it, but still, they're in the driver's seat. Credit where credit's due there. 1 round, and they'll gobble up that match point here. 1 mistake from F5. And Zomblers probably close it out. Still, though, I'm on the edge of my seat here, moving into the 21st here. Double digits on the line, match point. The tension just rising by the second. And ops across the board. We got an op here for Sassy, another one thrown onto Freaky. I don't think we've seen him use it quite yet here on the T side. He was a big factor on that CT side with it, but curious to see how it pans out in this critical round. I do, just aggressing up mid. He's gonna find one lacking, but Luke able to find the trade, takes a bullet to the face in the process, and sure, it's a 4 versus 4, but side of Zomblers, a little bit more HP.
For Zomblers, this is a desperate round. Their money is in the toilet. Very little to work with, and if they lose this, they'll essentially have to let this game get tied up. Sanzik watching and waiting for E-box here. Grembley on the other side, holding for B main, but here comes the execute. Smokes are in, flashbangs through. A flash response. Zeep will get the opener, tries to swing back, but Sanzik gets one. Sanzik swings back and catches Savage. Still looking for more here. Hambuga and Luke now. Oh, Luke with the quick scope on the AWP gets it to 2 versus 2. Sassy, wallbang here would be something, but doesn't quite come through. Sassy on the AWP. Ayla on the other side towards E-box. Luke, I think he's going to leave it unchecked for now. Sassy, be the one leading the charge forward. Oh, it was nearly collateral. Hambuga now under the pressure, trying to push forward, trying to take down Sassy. Gets the one. Aylor, made the footstep. Hambuga can just play ring around the rosy as much as he wants, and gets the headshot as well. F5 up to 10.
How does he do it when the world needs him most? Hambuga delivers back against the wall there. Low HP. The AWP knew he was about to swing, but still, he still finds a way to make it happen. That's already 2 clutches on the season there from Hambuga, and that one might have been even more impactful than the one that we saw back in map number 1 of the season. But my God, Connor, feels like tie game inevitable here. It's just crazy. Who's going to close it out, though?
This is a game where Zomblers have had their opportunities to push things to a match point, and it has not gone the way that they'd hoped. Another one of these nail-biter games. Could have come down to 13-11, but will it go the opposite way than their debut, where they won against Guangdong Tiger? Savage, a 1. A follow-up not happening. Sanzik gets it with the Eagle on the trade. Sanzik swinging around, but Hambuga's already there. Sassy, though, a known variable, I believe, and Hambuga makes the confirmation. It's at least an upgrade to the Deagle, but Luke 4K should have this easy breezy kill to Aylor. And this is a round that's just destined to be. We're going to be tied up at 11 apiece here. It's going to come down to all 24 rounds of regulation.
Maybe even more. It feels like it would be fitting that we got extra here, but my, oh my heart's racing. I'm not even in the server here, but match point, it's going to be for someone here, and we've seen the clutch factor go to the way of F5 in these last few rounds here. Hambuga certainly heating up a bit there, but the finances are in order. I knew Will he go for that patented early aggression? He's been having some success with it going up towards mid, but it's one of those plays that only works out a couple times throughout the game, and I'm curious to see what the game plan is going into this big round for the side of Zomblers.
Only 2 rounds so far in this half for Zomblers, and they've both been at post-plant defuses as well. Both of these rounds where only 2 or 1 player has survived. Zomblers has been certainly facing trials and tribulations as they move forward on their CT side. They have been forced through a deadlock, tied at 11 apiece. F5 looking to take a lead here, and both teams have got a very strong purchase to go with it.
No excuses. That's for dang sure here, and kind of a 3-2 setup presented here from the side of Zomblers. Kind of gambling, giving up mid here in the early stages of a round, but will F5 be able to figure this out and take advantage of it? It feels like there's a possibility as they head up towards the double doors.
And Booga seemingly leading the charge. Flashbang out. INU makes contact. A running M4 does take down the headshot. Savage going to get caught, but it's going to be a double peek there. INU going down. Sassy with the AWP. Gets once. Zeep on the other side, watching and waiting, but Luke 4K has just caught Sandzik. That's an opening towards B, but the bomb is still down mid. 3 versus 2 now favoring Zomblers.
Sassy just having a field day. Thankfully, though, when Luke went down, the bomb flew back the other direction, but still, in the 2 versus 3, it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough as Ailer. A big moment to be had there. A big kill and footsteps being heard in towards this B bomb site. Freaky. Is he aware that someone could have pushed B main? Is it just going to be an open plan in the open here? It certainly feels like it, and Grimbly, he's certainly going to be getting that every day of the week. The first to hit 12 is Zomblers through all the trials and tribulations.
It was a round they needed, and sometimes that's just how it can go, right? You're having your struggles. You're getting just beat down mentally, economically, you know, physically. You're just losing all the gunfights, but sometimes you just hit that 11-11. You tie things up, and you just go, they tie things up, and it's just like, all right, time to lock in. Zomblers now, 1 chance to do it. 1 chance to force things to a 13th at round number 24, or it goes to overtime, and F5 can try to play for more rounds.
It's never easy. That's for dang sure here in the ESEA-Advanced division, and my god, heating up by the second bomb. Looking like it's already in a position here to kind of head over towards B. There is a 3-man setup, at least for the time being, from the CT. Sassy posted up with the big green as well. If there isn't any utility to cross this first-hand angle, I think it's going to be an initial first blood here for the side of Zomblers, but utility, it pours in. Sassy lined it up and will respond with a grenade of his own. A grenade past the Molotov is going to drop these players down to such low HP.
Freaky's on 9, Savage on 53, and Hamburg on 50. They're going to be reconsidering their entire game plan here for this round. Sassy's already rotating in. Freaky, he's dead! INU catches it. There was even a wallbang through on the mid as well. Smokes down. It's the play. It's the play towards A. Zeep going to be running through the up. At least connects, and Sassy pushing forward. It's a quick scope to Zeep. Bomb plant will be attempted, but denied for now. Sassy under the pressure. Grimbly survives. It's all left to Hambuga. A 1 versus 3, and Sassy denies. 13-11 again for Zomblers. They bring it back at the final moments.
Oh my god,
My
Connor.
goodness.
Another heart-wrenching into the game there, unfortunately, there for F5. But man, there's got to be some solace in the fact that they have made it 24 and 23 rounds in the 2 games that they played. But man, Zomblers, geez, balls of steel. They allow F5 to get back into it, but they're just playing with us. They close it out.
Oh, goodness. That was an incredibly tight-knit game. I mean, Zomblers, great resilience to pull back in the last 2. F5 so close. Unfortunately, those last 2 rounds, just those little things didn't go right, and you know, it wasn't even necessarily mistakes of like tactics. It was just the fact that the nades or the utility just kept flying in, and they just had to try and adjust on the fly, and it didn't go the way they wanted. But anyways, I mean, I'm sure you got an interview to run to there, Cash, so I'm gonna let you just go get on to it. But I mean, what a great game, man.
Certainly. I was talking about how I didn't want to watch Anubis. I take it all back. I was apparently wrong. That was truly about as good as it gets there. But man, It was a pleasure, Connor. Always a good time to get to cast with you
Always a
there. But
pleasure. All right, I'm gonna see you later. Close out my show, man.
see you, Zomblers. Till next time. Later.
All right, we're done with this show. Zomblers taking it 13-11, a nail-biting performance, of course. INU stepping up big in the last round, especially finding that first kill up mid. Gives a lot of information over, just lets all the rotations come through. But I think the main MVP of that final round is Sassy. The op shots were doing numbers and just continuing to just constrict on F5. Never let them feel comfortable in any of those moments. And what a great game. Big props to Hambuga, though. Hambuga, commiserations to you. You've been a mainstay in NA, especially at this level for some time, and you're still proving it. 24 and 15, 103 ADR after that one. And I mean, the rest of the squad as well. Zeep, 21 and 15. Those two were absolutely supercharged throughout that second half. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough, and it's Zomblers taking things off to a 2-0 to block off week number 1 of the season. That will wrap up our first week for Zomblers. They're going to be back on Monday up against Mega. Is that Mega Juniors? No shot. Hold on. Okay, it's not Mega. It's not Mega Juniors. It's just Mega. So it's just the original Mega team. Mega Juniors is slightly different. Okay, good. I wanted to figure that out. All right, so they're going to be playing on Monday the 14th, same time at 9 o'clock Central Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Europe brain right now because I was casting some European stuff earlier. But anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a great night. We'll see you all back on Monday. Peace.